time for part 2 in our round of 16 predictions here for the Qatar World Cup 2022, and who do I see going through? If you're new to the series, the rules are on the screen now. Pause the video to make yourself accustomed. Just to make it absolutely clear, guys, you're predicting the result of the game from open play. So up until a penalty shootout starts. So for example, if you think that, I don't know, in the Japan game, Japan are going to win on penalties against Croatia, you might put that it was 2-2 by the time it got to the penalty shootout. Then we just stop the predictions. We're not predicting penalties or anything like that. We're solely predicting the score up until that penalty shootout. Hope that clears it up. Let's get into this. So here is the league table up to the end of the group games. So just to make it clear, I've seen no knockout games yet. USA versus Netherlands actually kicks off in 5 minutes. So I want to get this video pretty much done very quickly and get downstairs and watch that. It starts in 5 minutes. I've seen no knockout games at all. So I will not reference any knockout games whatsoever. So for example, if England have won 7-0 on Sunday night, I don't know that's happened yet. So that is why I'm not referencing any of those games. We're going to take a look at the league table now up to the end of the group matches. And I'm very sad to say Stuyben still sits at the top of our league table. He's currently got 53 points. He's absolutely smashed it so far with these predictions. But he's got to have something to, you know, shout about during this World Cup, because let's face it, Netherlands are going home after they get beat by USA anyway. Cue to you guys telling me that that's not the case at all, but I hope it will be. Jocelyn is sat in second place with 47 points. Very good effort from him. Ben is sat in third place still with 44 points. The rest of us are down below there. But even below us, MW2 and Jack Clay, you can kind of ignore those predictions really. Those guys unfortunately haven't predicted since the first game week. But between Marbles all the way up to Timo didn't predict last week, by the way. That's why he's dropped down. All those other 5 people are all within 7 points of each other. It's very close in and around the chasing pack. We just need to get up to those big guns up there in the 40s and 50s. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it this week. This second half of the round of 6. That's a very wordy title, isn't it? The second half of our round of 16 predictions. Hopefully we can do it and catch up with those other guys. Reminder, guys, you need to be making your predictions as I make mine. There's some very interesting round of 16 part 2 games coming up. We've got Brazil playing South Korea. We've got a weird one, Morocco against Spain. Portugal up against Switzerland, and Japan up against Croatia. They're all quite interesting games, actually. I'm looking forward to this. Now, the last 2 rounds, I've tried to play it safe to try and get some more points on the board, and have ended up not scoring many points. So I've gone back to my old ways of predicting the weird and wonderful things that could happen in this World Cup. My first prediction is between Japan and Croatia. Now, I've really enjoyed watching Japan this World Cup. Croatia have been fine. They've kind of been what I expected, really. A solid side that have been hard to break down and hard to beat, but haven't set the world on fire. Now, for this upcoming fixture, I want to follow my heart. My heart is wanting Japan to go through. I'm not sure. And where I am not sure, I have put that this is going to go to penalties. I've gone for 1-1. So that's what I think the score will be at the end of 120 minutes or whatever it is. I don't even know what the rules are in this World Cup, if I'm honest. But yeah, that'll be the score by the end of play. Obviously, then it will go to penalties. We don't get any points for predicting who wins on penalties, by the way. But I will predict... who should I go for? I'm going to predict Japan win it on penalties. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go with my heart that Japan won on penalties, but my prediction in this game is 1-1. Next up is Brazil versus South Korea. Now, we love the South Koreans, massive fans. We hate Uruguay and we hate Luis Suarez. He should never have been allowed to be on a football pitch after biting 3+ people, however many times it's been. But it is what it is. He's now gone home, thank God. But we have got a game between Brazil and South Korea here. This is the one game that I think I'm just going to go with the grain. I am just going to go with the result that everyone is expecting. Brazil aren't the strongest team at this World Cup, but they've also shown, and I'm going to check this before I say it. I want to make sure that I don't get this wrong. Apart from the last game, which was Cameroon, was it? Let me just... Yeah, Cameroon, where they lost 1-0. Where I would argue they played a weaker side. They didn't play their full strength side in that game. I would argue they've been pretty solid. They haven't really had any challenge against them so far. The Cameroon game, yes, they lost it, but they played a weaker side 100%. So, with that being said, they're going to go back to full strength. They're into the round 16. It's knockout football now. They're going to want to progress. So, with that being said, I am going for a pretty straightforward win here. I've gone for 2-0 to Brazil. I think that they will walk through this fixture, and I don't see South Korea being able to do much about it. Yes, South Korea have pulled some great results off at this World Cup, but I think this might be a step too far. So 2-0 is the score I've gone for. Next up then, Morocco versus Spain. Morocco obviously topped their group. A group where they've actually gone unbeaten with a draw against Croatia and wins against both Belgium and Canada. So they have had a very good group in regards to their results and unpredictability. I didn't expect Morocco to get this far in the competition, but they are the ones that are overperforming right now. They're up against the Spain side who they did all right within the groups. 1-1, drew 1, lost 1. However, their loss against who was it? It was Japan. Their loss against Japan showed that Spain can be quite weak. They came out so strong in their first game of the World Cup and racked up an amazing scoreline. But since then, we've started to see that there are some parts of that Spain side that can be broken down. And that was exploited by Japan earlier this week. So, where do I see an overperforming Morocco going up against an up and down Spain? A Spain that we can't predict right now. We don't know what Spain's going to turn up. Well, I said that I was having fun with my predictions this weekend, and this is no different. I have gone for Morocco 2, Spain 2. I've said it's going to penalties, and when it gets to penalties, I think Spain will win. I do think Spain will go through on penalties, but remember our predictions are up until the end of open play. So up until the 120th minute, I'm going Morocco 2, Spain 2. I think that that's a very ballsy prediction. It's one that if I get it right, then I will get a lot of points. If I get it wrong, then everyone else around me is going to get points. I think everyone goes Spain in this fixture personally, but I'm going for it. This is the side of the draw that could draw out the most controversy, the most upsets. And I think that the way that Spain and Portugal have played in this World Cup, they're the ones that are going to be on the receiving end of those upsets. Morocco for me, 2-2. Goes to penalties. Who knows? The final round of 16 game to predict then is Portugal versus Switzerland. Now, this was quite interesting. Obviously, Switzerland pulled off a great win in the final game to go through, upsetting Cameroon and Serbia, who obviously went out. You've then got Portugal, who lost to South Korea and saw Uruguay and Ghana not get through that group. That group was the most open one, really, with 6 points, 4 points, 4 points, 3 points. That was very tight indeed. The Brazil-Switzerland group was a bit more straightforward. Where do I see this one lying, though? I'm going, as I said, with Portugal and Spain, and this side of the draw, I think it could cause the most upsets. And I'm going for an upset. I'm going for 2-1 to Switzerland within 90 minutes, I reckon. Even if it takes 120 minutes. 2-1 to Switzerland is the score I'm going for. I have a feeling. I don't think Portugal have really got what it takes. They started off very strong. Bruno Fernandes was playing very well. Cristiano Ronaldo came into this composition causing so much distress for the Portugal side in all the interviews being about him and his time at Manchester United and whether it was going to come to an end. We now know it has come to an end, but I still think there's a big highlight on Cristiano Ronaldo and what's next for him, and I feel like the Portugal players have been let down by him a little bit, and I think that they're going to let down themselves by going out to Switzerland in the round of 16. Again, if I get this right, I'm gaining points on other people. If I get it wrong, people are going to be drawing away from me. But the way this World Cup has gone and the results that we've seen so far, I think an upset is possible. So I'm going for Switzerland. I'm hoping for Switzerland, because that means basically if my predictions all go the way that I've said, and if Morocco win the penalty shootout, for example, it would only be Brazil left on this side of the draw. That's guaranteeing a Brazil final, really. And then the other teams are all very beatable, for England's sake anyway. I'm very much thinking from an England fan, but we need some absolute wizardry up against France. But I've forgotten who's playing, actually. Who's playing France? It's Poland. I am Polish. From 3 o'clock on Sunday through to 7 o'clock on Sunday, I'm very much a Polish man, and I'm hoping that France do get beaten, but I just don't see it happening. Either way, though, if it does go the way that I've said with this second half of the round of 16, we could, if we got to the final, have a pretty strong chance of winning it. Whether England get there is a completely different question. Some of you will be watching this knowing whether England are actually in the quarterfinals or whether they're already on their plane home. But I hope they do beat Senegal. It's a tough game, but I hope it does go that way. Anyway, here's a roundup of the round of 16 part 2 fixtures. We've got Japan to draw against Croatia across 120 minutes. Brazil to win 2-0 against South Korea. Morocco to draw 2-2 with Spain. Not sure where that would go on a penalty shootout. Portugal versus Switzerland. I've gone for the upset, 2-1 to Switzerland. So that's all of my predictions. Remember to get yours in before that Japan-Croatia game kicks off tomorrow on Monday. Make sure you're in the comments letting me know what you think your predictions are going to be. Make sure you're liking this video as well to ensure that it goes to a further audience. That'd be very much appreciated. And also make sure, if you're not already, you are subscribed to the channel. If you're subscribed to this channel, the team that you want to win the World Cup are guaranteed to win the World Cup. I don't know how it works, it just works that way, so please do subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Can't believe it took Ben several videos of mine to realise that's what I say at the end of every video.